Hello and welcome to the Other 14 FC podcast. I'm Alex, Crystal Palace fan.
And I'm Tom, a West Ham fan.
And this is your podcast for everything not top six. Tired of your team being last on match of the day and not getting the flowers they deserve? Well, that's about to change. Tom, what do we have for listeners this week?
Buendia with a bang, Guehi with a gong, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall with a knockout punch. There was a lot of drama this weekend. How are you, mate?
Guehi with a gong. Jesus. Really scraping the barrel. You can tell we've done 3 pods in under a week at this point. Yeah,
this was hastily written at 7 a.m. So
yeah, I'm better. You can probably hear my voice a lot better. Still got the cough, so a lot of muting might be coming in this way during the pod. But apart from that, all good. And getting ready to go to Dublin for Palace's next Conference League game tomorrow. So yeah, busy. How about yourself?
Yeah, all good, man. All good. I had a fairly chilled weekend. You'll be happy about this. I found a newfound love for Guinness Zero.
Yeah,
after all of this time.
I told you it's the one to go for because it's the one that doesn't rely on alcohol for its taste. So it pretty much tasted like Guinness. Like unless you had a taste comparison next to the two, you wouldn't really be able to tell. Like it's decent. I mean, I hope I'll have a few of those whilst I'm in Dublin, but no, me, I'll just be going for the hard stuff the whole time.
Yeah, probably be more like 79 pints of the real stuff. So.
Oh man, but yeah, cool. Okay, should we take a break and get into the results for the weekend?
Let's do it.
Okay, and we're back. So, Tom, where do you want to start this week?
I think we have to start with the one I mentioned first. Aston Villa 2, Arsenal 1. They did it again.
They did it again. I'm so happy as this result. I've been waiting for Arsenal to crumble. I've not made my feelings hidden on how I feel about Arsenal fans that I have to deal with at work on a constant basis. What a result. And before we get into Villa, have you seen the clip doing the rounds on social of like all the Arsenal players after the goal goes in, like punching the floor, falling like it's injected into my veins.
How many times have you watched that video?
Do you know what? Only like 3 times whenever it pops up. I've not like seeked it out, but it's so good. It's so good.
It is. Well, the ghost of Unai Emery has haunted Arsenal again. Since Emery joined Villa, they've won 3 of 6 Premier League meetings against Arsenal, and considering how good Arsenal have been in that time and how majority of the other teams they've pretty much swiped aside, like that is an excellent record for Villa to have, and they seem to just have the tactics and the players and the sort of the right setup and the hunger to do this to Arsenal time and time again.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's almost like what we do to Villa. Like, we've got this voodoo over Villa, but they have it over Arsenal. And it seemed pretty obvious from the beginning, didn't it? Like, Watkins had a big chance at the beginning of the game that, well, you should really be scoring, but Raya produces a big save. I think that was in 10 minutes. Then, what was it? Matty Cash puts 1-0 up after another block shot. Eze has a goal ruled out for offside, ruled out because of Saka. And then, yeah, I mean, Villa just seemed good for the win the whole time. Like, they just seemed to be attacking them. They seemed to be causing Arsenal a lot of problems. Especially, I think it was down Arsenal's left where all the issues seemed to be, where Villa seemed to be creating all the issues.
Yeah, Matty Cash was causing issues all game long, and especially that was why Eze went off at half time, as he wasn't covering Matty Cash getting back. So it was just sort of Arsenal's left back against Matty Cash and Morgan Rogers, and yeah, they definitely dominated the first half, and then I think Arsenal made a couple of changes at half time and sort of like they put quite a bit of pressure on after that, and that led to their equaliser, which, you know, you're going to come up against some pressure. But then Villa regained composure. They made a few changes of their own, like Donyell Marlon coming on, and couple of big saves from Martinez in this one as well, like the one from Odegaard that he sort of tips on is probably hitting the crossbar anyway, but like it's a
wasn't it? Yeah.
But like still just like has to get fingertips on it, because you never know if it's just going to be that inch where it hits the crossbar and goes in or something. So, you know, he had to make that save, and then yeah, as I say, Marlon comes on and he has a big chance to get the second but pulls it wide, but eventually they were pushing towards the end, and I think they were the more likely team to get that winner. Whilst it was kind of back and forth a little bit in that late stage of the game, it just felt like Villa were the more likely.
Yeah, I mean, they defended for their lives as well, though. There was the Kamara block off the line. But yeah, I think Villa Park has become their fortress, as we've said every week now, going forward. And yeah, they put the pressure on Arsenal and they buckled. Like it's so good to see, like that someone finally made a buckle under the pressure, and it's something that hopefully he's going to see for the rest of the season. But the scenes when Dyche sends Villa Park pretty much into ecstasy, and you can't say it's not deserved at all, can you? It was just, yeah, I would have loved to have been at Villa Park at what time? It must have been about 1:30, 2 o'clock then, just to see everyone losing their minds.
Yeah, it was incredible. It was like the 94th minute, very last kick of the game because they just called full time when they did kick off, and it was after like pinball in the box, and it kind of like you're thinking, is it going to happen? Like, are they going to get this chance? Like, is someone going to actually get a shot away? And it falls to Buendia, who 2 seconds before was on his arse in the middle of the box, like slipping over and trying to like regain himself, and it just kind of lands in front of him. And it's not like he even has to hit top corner or anything like
No,
that.
he's
It's
hit the
so
target,
like,
doesn't he?
yeah, he's just it's close, get a bit of whip on it, and you're gonna beat Raya from that sort of like range and that. And yeah, really happy for Buendia as well. That's a player who's been through tough times over the last couple of years with like injuries and such. Like he was always a proper talent when he was coming, like when he made his name at Norwich, and then he got that move to Aston Villa. And I probably say it hasn't necessarily panned out for Villa as much as they would have hoped, but this season he's been excellent in a
Yeah,
lot of games, and this one he comes up absolute clutch.
100%. Like with the goal as well, you're just looking at it, it's like they're going to find a way to rule us out with VAR. And I imagine everyone in Villa Park, apart from the Arsenal fans, were probably there like, oh, we're not going to get the rub of the green on that one. But it's nice to see it actually go like go against the top six side for once. But
Well, they
I guess
looked at it back, and then there was nothing like even debatable. It was just like, yep, nope, clear cut. There wasn't an offside, there wasn't a handball or anything involved. It was just like a good quality end of the match, scrappy, but yeah, a brilliant winner, and then bedlam in the stands.
absolute bedlam. I mean, that takes them what 3 points off the top of the table now, and they end Arsenal's 18-game unbeaten run. I mean, the main question:
Yeah,
are
but
Villa
they've
in
got
the
West
title?
Ham next, so
Are Villa in the title race?
100%. I think they have to be. Well, there's three teams on between in 3 points. Those top three, and then there's like 4 points to Palace. And the way Villa have been going in the last several weeks, they look completely unstoppable. I joke that they've got West Ham next, but I'm absolutely terrified about them coming to the London Stadium. That like they. It's interesting because Watkins is still not firing, even though he got those couple of goals last week. You would have
He
thought he
wasn't.
might have got this one.
He wasn't firing this game, but I think he was still busy. I think he was still causing
He
Arsenal
looks more
problems.
like the Watkins that we've seen like at
Yeah,
his best, even though he's not necessarily getting as many goals as he has been. The last couple of weeks have shown, right, he's still there. That player, he can still get in behind. Like he's not lost pace or anything. He's just had a bit of a goal shy period. So I think he'll definitely come. I mean, he'll probably score against us on Sunday, to be honest. And I mean, I think one thing I noticed about this game, and it's probably something I should have noticed a while ago, is in this game, by the end of it, Villa could bring on three players who've played in a Champions League final for Borussia Dortmund. They had Jadon Sancho, they had Ian Matson and Donyell Marlon on the pitch, and like that's a pretty big thing to be able to say for Villa. Like that they've got three Champions League finalists on the pitch at that point. Might even be forgetting another one, but I know like Pau Torres probably has a Europa League or something, but like that's still a big feat for Villa to have in their squad.
yeah. I mean, they did obviously do the PSR stuff last season, and they have a bit of a squad there now to be able to build something with. You just, yeah, you just think how far can they go with it? Because what did we say at the beginning of the season? They're falling apart. I tipped them for relegation. Shut me right up now, like Villa fans, and you, it's interesting to see what their ceiling's going to be this year. Because, like I say, you got West Ham next. I think they've got Chelsea and Arsenal coming up. So, if they find ways to win those games, sky is pretty much a limit. But it's going to be a hard one. I think. I still think it's going to be hard because they've got obviously Europa League to contend with in between it all.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would still just take getting back into the Champions League as a massive success this season. I don't think any Villa fan is necessarily thinking about the title right now. I mean, this time last year we were talking about Forest in
Yeah,
that same
true,
breath,
actually.
and they kind of like fell off. It's a long period of the season left. I think it's really interesting that they have Arsenal again at the end of this month. I think it's on like the 30th of December or something. So like they meet this team again who they play well, but they're like Arsenal are going to want to get one over on them, and it's going to be at the Emirates and stuff. So it's going to be a big challenge for Villa. But the way that they've been going over since like the first 5 weeks or so of the season, since then they've looked absolutely unstoppable more often than not. And yeah, this is just another notch on their belt. And yeah, they're definitely in, like, it's definitely, you have to include them in the conversation when you're talking about the title. It would be rude to just say it's Man City and Arsenal when Villa are a point behind City and just beaten the top of the table. So they're definitely involved. It's going to be a long season.
Yeah, I just think that 4 point gap between fourth and third, mentally, if I'm a Villa fan, I'm thinking, shit, like, we're going to be third for at least a week, like, at least another game week. Or 2 weeks' time, at least, we're still going to be here, like, without even having to pick up any points. So, it's crazy. Crazy to think they win and they could go top. Well, not top, they could go join top with Arsenal like halfway through next week. It's crazy. Like, absolutely crazy to me. But yeah, Villa fans must be absolutely buzzing. I mean, can't give them enough praise. The informed team in the Premier League. Yeah. Anything else to touch on that game, or should we move on to the next one?
No, props to Villa. Let's move on.
Cool. Where do you want to go next? I see you got Palace second, have you now? After you've said we'd get a
Well,
battering at Craven Cottage.
it was an interesting game though, wasn't it? Like, I mean, you were there, so like,
Yeah.
what you tell us? Like, yeah, I have got that one second because there's not a ton of interesting games this week. There's kind of like a sort of a 50-50, like some like that. I mixed them up. I was like, could go that one, could go that one, but I thought, you were at Palace, you were at Fulham, so let's go with that one.
Yeah, my first time at Craven Cottage. Absolutely loved it. I was on my last legs come Sunday with this illness, and I was a bit like, am I really going to do this 4:30 kickoff on a Sunday when it's going to be cold and raining, and I just need to really be like with a lem sip in bed? But I was like, fuck it. I've never been like, even my mate that I was going to go with dropped out last minute.
Oh,
But I was
really?
like, fuck it. I've wanted to go so badly to this ground for years. I want to see the cottage, and like got there, and the away end was absolutely buzzing. It was limbs like when we first scored, and then the second goal goes in to win it in the last minute. Absolutely, people flying everywhere. It was just completely not what I expected from Palace. If I'm being honest, we had no Munoz and no Sarr, so our whole right flank's just missing. And as soon as that you see that on a team sheet, you're just there like, oh, it's going to be a long day. Like nothing against Nathaniel Klein, he's one of our own and can still do the job even at like 34. But you're just expecting like Fulham are probably going to have more energy than us. If we're not 2-0 ahead going into half time, then I can see them getting a couple of goals and us being in trouble when Mateta can't run after like 40 minutes. But yeah, it was a complete opposite of everything I expected. I think we were good for the 1-0 lead going into well, not going into half time. I think we're good for 1-0 lead most of the first half. Then Fulham score like the perfect goal. Harry Wilson with the Travella. It was beautiful. It was a thing of beauty. Like I was stood there in the
Uh,
stands and like
Goal of the
the one,
season?
two, pardon,
Goal of the season?
not goal of the season, not quite that good, but yeah, I think you look at it, it was unstoppable. I don't think there's anything Palace could have done short of like crunching Harry Wilson, but you can't even get close to him. Like, and then it's unsavable. Like it was done by a bit of Harry Wilson magic.
I mean, we say it every week. He doesn't score bad goals, that boy.
No,
Like, I mean, I think it's going to be in contention for goal of the season. The one touch passing beforehand, the link up with Jimenez, and then the stabbing from outside of the box with like the outside of your boot. Yeah, it doesn't go top corner or anything, but it leaves Henderson with absolutely no chance because he can't even set himself. He's just like, as soon as like the ball comes back to Wilson, it's just bam from the outside of his boot, and then like just always curling away from Henderson. He's got no chance.
no.
I think they were deserving of that goal. I think it was a very even match overall. I think probably a draw would have been fair, and it was like a sort of a toss up about who was going to get the winner. And you know, that's football. A draw's what's fair is not always like you have to make your own luck, and Palace end up getting that one. But just before that, like the Nketiah goal like is really nice. Like he's snatched a pass that's meant for Kamada from Wharton,
Yeah,
and
he's
he just
finished
absolutely
it
just
well
goes,
though,
no,
hasn't he?
I'm
Like
taking this myself. I'm the goal scorer here.
that's the thing that no, that's the exact type of goal that we expected in Nketiah for 30 mil to be coming and scoring for Palace. Like not week in week out, but when he's in those positions where he's not got a chance to think about it, he should be putting them away more often than he's missing them. And yeah, it gives us hope that maybe I mean, Nketiah is such a patchy player. Every time we think he's like found his form, he then puts in a stinker or he gets injured. Like it's just the same over and over again. But yeah, Adam Warren's pass, I think him and Kamada really bossed the game quite well in midfield. Big fan of Calvin Bassey, seeing him play live, like, and absolutely dominating us. Well, dominating Mateta in the first half, like nothing going through at all. And then I think the game plan in the second half was basically Uche comes on, and Uche's told just to occupy him, and straight away he's like in his face, like not making it easy for Bassi to be able to get the ball or to control play. And I think that's what made the difference. I think that's what led to us getting more space, us having more chances in behind. We do get lucky with the offside goal. I think if that goal was allowed for them, then we're in big trouble, and that they actually go on to probably win that game because I don't see us coming back from 2-1 down.
Yeah, it's a proper toe that he's offside. I mean, by the letter of the law, yes, he's offside, but like it's so small. But then also it probably touches Jimenez's arm, like so they probably would have looked at
Yeah, I
that
think
more if like if it didn't if they weren't just like, oh well, he's offside, we've drawn the lines. They would have gone back to the Jimenez trying to grab the ball. I think it actually touches his arm beforehand, but then he like actually tries to grab it in because he feels like he's been fouled, which I absolutely hate players doing. I understand it completely, like you're just trying to stop like what the play flowing and that, but it's just such a I don't know, it's just an annoying little thing that's crept into football. There's also in the like before that, don't know if you remember seeing it, but there was a penalty shout for Palace in the first half that Sky Sports were replaying
oh
quite a
yeah,
bit. I think it like Klein on the edge of the box, and once I saw that, I was like, who's the referee in this match? And
yeah.
it's your old friend Sam Barrett. So
Mate, Sam Barrett refereeing down England on VAR. When I saw that come up on the screen at Craven Cottage, I was like, fucking hell, we're in for a long night here. I mean, it wasn't the worst refereeing performance I've ever seen. He did lose control a bit here and there, but nothing I could really slate him. And you know I'd be the first person to slate him if I had the opportunity.
yeah, but then yeah, at the end of the game, as I say, it felt like a draw was going to be fair, and then Palace made their own luck and unstoppable header from Guehi from that range. Like it's just like I would say you would hope that from a Fulham perspective that the defenders would have got their head on it, because once Guehi gets his head on it, Leno's got no chance from that close, and it's an absolute bullet that just takes the 3 points for Palace and up to fourth.
Yeah, up to fourth, man. It's crazy. I mean, I've been hearing from Fulham fans that Marco Silva's changes really took all the momentum out of the game for him, like taking off Smith Rowe and Chukwueze. And yeah, Kevin came on. I expected a bit more from him. I was worried when he came on, but yeah, I think they seemed really flat after all their subs. Whereas for once, our subs actually brought some energy into the game, which we've been lacking so much in the game against United, the game against Burnley, and it showed maybe Glasner just like not being stubborn anymore and giving Anuche like half an hour and giving like Munoz a break even though he was injured. Like it shows that these players can like fill in the gap, and even if we just have people that know the system and they have enough energy to be able to run still, it makes a difference, and we could probably pick up more points. I don't think we're going to pick up any points against City, so that, like being in fourth now is really nice, and it probably flatters to deceive, and we'll probably drop down to 12th by the end of next weekend. But yeah, very much enjoying the Palace life at the moment.
Enjoy it for now. Enough on that. Enough on Palace. Let's move on. I've got Everton 3, Forest 0 next. This one
Yeah, mate.
for me, it felt like the first goal was massive in this one, and that like whichever team was going to get it, that was going to be it for the rest of the game. Like neither of these teams are built to come from behind.
No, exactly that. Like when I looked at it, I was like, this is a worrying result if I'm a Forest fan. But then, like you say, you just think both teams are made like in the same mode. It's like we're going to get this goal, we're going to be able to hold on to it, and then get you on the break. And it just seemed like Shrewsbury Hall, Indai, and Grealish were just causing them problems after they get the well, not lucky. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure that's put on by Dewsbury Hall for the first goal that Mikalenko puts into his own net. But after that, it seems to just be the Everton looking dangerous show for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's when you score that early, excellent cross from Dewsbury Hall. Milenkovic just heads it into his own net. It's a nightmare for a defender, that kind of cross where it's like going in towards your goal, but you feel like you need to get something on it to clear it, and he just unfortunately heads it in. It's a very unfortunate one, and yeah, but an excellent cross from Dewsbury Hall, and once they get that goal, Everton just never really looked like succumbing to that. They could play exactly how they wanted to, sit back, relax, like, and then with the dribbling ability of Grealish and Dyche, like the carrying ability of Dewsbury Hall. Tierney Barry came to the party. I was
Mate, guys,
I
go!
was watching this one. I was so happy that Ndai passed to him, not Alcaraz, because he could have very easily passed to his right and passed it to Alcaraz. But I think every Everton fan was like, "Please pass this to Barry. It's a tap in."
Do you think? Do you think that goal should have counted? Was there a touch from the ref in the build-up?
I think it should have counted. Yeah, I don't think the touch from the ref was big enough that it's like that really it mattered.
I'm not even so that maybe I haven't seen enough replays of it, but it does look like it goes through the ref legs. It's not like I think it was Chris Kavanagh, the ref. Like, it doesn't look like it touches him. Like, if it does, it just brushes it. It doesn't really
In
affect
real
play.
time, I didn't see it at all, so I was
Yeah,
like, "Go for it!" Like,
yeah. I mean, I'm so happy for him, and you can tell how much it meant to him and all Everton fans there. Hopefully, that's the start of a few goals for him, like leading into the season, because he has been in positions to score goals, hasn't he? He's just been unlucky with the finishes. Well, unlucky and a bit shit.
yeah, exactly. He's been in the positions. He's just not got those goals or he's not had the luck of the draw when he's been offside and stuff like that. So there was an absolute roar around the Hill Dickinson when he got that goal, and yeah, and then later on, Dewsbury Hall just absolutely smashes one in. Like an excellent finish. And my thought that came out of that was he really should have been on our top five transfers list. Like, what a signing for Everton he's been this season. Like, I wanted him at West Ham. He's gone in at Everton and just looks a star for them, to be honest.
No, it's like I've always worried about him. I mean, he's always had a strike to him, and I think he maybe flattered the deceive in a few games against us, like for Leicester. But I think as a squad player, he's someone any team in the Premier League would probably want. And Everton have done brilliant with their attacking options this season, and it's paying dividend. They're like up to seventh now. I think they were basically in fourth or fifth at one point over the weekend as well. Just it really shows what 4 wins in 5 games. David Moyes is doing bits there.
He really is. He really is. And on the other end of the pitch, Sean Dyche loses against his former side. Like in this, as I said, neither team are built to come from behind. So once they did go 1-0 down, and Forest were, to be fair, pushing at the end of the first half, like they were sort of dominating the area of the pitch, but they just left themselves exposed, and then that leads to the Barry goal. So they're 2-0 down at half time, and they tried to come into it in the second half. There's a good block from James Tarkowski away from making it 2-1 that had gone past Pickford, so was headed in, but Tarkowski got a block on it to ensure it was a clean sheet for Everton on that day. And yeah, from a Forest perspective, very similar to West Ham, that like had those couple of results to get them like breathing a little bit easier, but now it's a little bit more of a struggle again, and like it's still signs that these teams are inconsistent at best. Like they aren't necessarily as bad as they were earlier in the season, but they certainly aren't getting out of trouble with ease.
No, exactly that. Like, you think new manager Bounce kind of it's had its momentum now, and like I say, on paper that's a very damning result for Forest. There's no way you can really masquerade that and be like, it just weren't our day. It's a bit like that's a game that you think you would be again at least a draw from. And then what they got Spurs next, that could be quite easily like another drumming for them. And then yeah, I don't know how I'd feel if it's a Forest fan. Maybe I'm being a bit fickle, but I just think you're not expecting 3-0 defeat to an Everton when you have Sean Dyche as your manager, are you? To be honest, like.
No, but as I said, this one it could have gone either way. If Forest had got an early goal, then I think they could have gone on to win this one comfortably. But I we'll see. Forest are at home against Spurs next. Spurs don't travel well, so Forest could be looking to turn their tides around at the City ground. But yeah, as I say, it's still very inconsistent. Forest. They've had the highs of beating Liverpool 3-0, and then the lows of losing to Everton 3-0. So it is what it is for Forest.
Merseyside mayhem for them, really, isn't it?
Yeah, well, let's go to another team who played a Merseyside team.
Yeah, Leeds 3, Liverpool 3. I thought you'd have this maybe at the top of the list, just with all the drama that happened in the game. But nothing really happened in the first half, though, did it? I mean, Liverpool had a few shots, but nothing.
It was so boring.
Yeah, nothing to write home about, was there? Like, it was literally like, oh, this is a bit dull, but I guess Leeds are frustrating Liverpool a bit here. And then shit just hit the fan in the second half, didn't it?
Legit, like my stepdad, who's a Liverpool fan, texted me at half time and was like, "Oh, what do you think of our game?" And I was like, I almost fell asleep, mate. It was so boring. And then I went out in the second half and came back, and I went out when they were 2-0, Liverpool were 2-0 up, and then came back and it was like 3-3, and I was like, okay, what happened here? This went slightly crazy. Like, yeah, they just, I mean, Leeds weren't defending very well in the second half in this one, but they at 2-0 down, they showed incredible spirit to get back into this. A bit of luck, I mean, they got a penalty from Konate, because that was just a stupid decision from Konate. But
yeah, I mean, they caused all their own problems to begin with. The first goal, didn't they? Like the poor pass from Roda, and Ekitike just picks it up, go, and then it's just a 1-2 punch. Like I'm always going to ask you this every fucking week when Perry concedes. But with the second goal, do you think you should be doing better with the cross? Like, he kind of like half comes, half doesn't, and he's just lying on the floor, sticking his arm out at it.
You're going to say this every time. I don't think. No, he gets absolutely clattered as well, and it's that cross that goalkeepers hate. That like
corridor
that corridor. There you go, the corridor of uncertainty. Like, yeah, it's just like, and Ekitike just gets there first, like and then it just kind of cannons off him. So yes, no, I don't necessarily blame Perry as much for that one. And he made a couple of good saves in this game. Like, yes, he conceded 3 goals, but
yeah. But then, yeah, once again, Konate is a really good footballer for that pair. It's so like you said, it's so unnecessary. Like, why has he gone and done that? And he's just given Leeds a roll
it's
back
going
into
out
the
for
game.
it's going out for a goal kick for sure. Like it almost does, and then he just gets a touch on Nonto, and Nonto's like, amazing, great, I can go down and like I'll get a penalty now, because otherwise this was going out for a goal kick and Liverpool probably see this game out comfortably. But yeah,
Mate, exactly that. It's a well taken pen by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and then as soon as, because I was out for a Christmas curry with some mates, and 2 of them were Liverpool fans. I was like, as soon as they were like, oh, it's 2-1, I was like, Ellen Road is going to be rocking. The pressure's going to be insane on Liverpool now. I was like, the momentum's going to be all with Leeds. I can only see one thing happening here. And yeah, how easy was the second goal? It was literally like, I think Stack just runs into the penalty area. It's like, oh, no one's making a challenge. I might just like slot this home now. And he's got 2 defenders in Konate and Virgil van Dijk just literally twerking in front of him. And he just fucking pops it in the back of the net like a striker.
Yeah,
so
to be fair,
him,
this was the player that I was excited about Leeds getting. I remember talking to my Leeds mate and was like, yeah, Anton Stack is a decent, like, he's been playing well in the Bundesliga for years now. Like, he's not necessarily a headline grabber, but like, he's a big man, but he's got good movement and has decent finishing. And this was the player that I was excited about. But yeah, you're right. He does kind of just glide through, and everyone's like, just no one puts in a tackle. So it's like, okay, you've just let him come into the box and slot it home. Like, it was a great. I mean, there was bad defending from Liverpool in this game, but as I said, like before, Liverpool aren't very good right now. They might be picking up a couple of results here and there, but this game showed again that they are still all over the place defensively. but Leeds had to have that spirit to get in there, and then they suddenly just switched off immediately and left Zobazai absolutely free with an ocean of space in the middle of their defense to make it 3-2. And you think maybe at that point, like, oh, has the luck run out, has the spirit run dry, sort of thing? Like, will that be a knockout punch that you've just come back to 2-2 and then you just get
Mate,
immediately a third against you? Like,
that's what it felt like, didn't it? Like when I saw that third one going in, it's like, oh, this is typical like top six behaviour. Like kill the rebuild from the team, kill any of the momentum. But I mean, Ellen Rowe just kept believing, didn't they? I think the way Liverpool celebrated that goal, going into the crowd, looking like they'd won it. I think maybe that's got the Leeds fans back up and the players like, we've come back from 2-0 down, we can get another goal. And yeah, it comes with Tanaka after Gravenberg, however you say his name, just nicely catches the ball with his hand and like drops it at Tanaka's feet to put away.
yeah, I mean, Tanaka alive at the back post. I think that's a proper good finish for someone who doesn't
Really
score a
good
ton
finish,
of
yeah.
goals. Like to hammer it into the ground off the surface, so it's like off that very wet, skiddy surface. Probably leaves Allison with no chance, and he's also just left it like he's on his own at the back post. But many players could have messed that up. But yeah, Tanaka has the composure to finish that one off and caps off an amazing week for Leeds. Like I
Four
know
points
I
from
said
those
it
two
last
games.
week. I'm sure I spoke for a lot of Leeds fans last week who looked at that fixture list and were very nervous about not picking up points. Like I don't think I like was speaking out of turn for them last week, but absolute props to them. 4 points and 8 goals scored against City, Chelsea, Liverpool in a week. That is some feat, and I mean, they're out of the relegation zone now. Like they've given themselves a proper fighting chance with that result, with those results.
I mean, the thing is, they need to do now is back it up against Brentford away, which, yeah, that's going to be tough. Palace at home and Sunderland away. They need to back these, not lucky, that's exactly the wrong word, these well full 4 points in the games that they would probably be expecting more likely to take points from now. They can't really, they go and lose those two games to Brentford and Palace. You wondering a bit like, are they just a team that's going to get up for playing the big teams? And that's not something that's going to keep them in the league, is it?
Up for the big teams, and those last two were at Ellen Road, where the crowd is vociferous. Is it going to be the same at the G-Tech next week? Probably not as much. Like so, and Brentford are excellent at home, so that's going to be a tough game for them. Might not have the glitz and the glamour of playing against City, Chelsea, Liverpool in that game. So yeah, do Leeds turn up in that game? It'll be an interesting one to see.
Yeah. I mean, they should be beating us on the 20th. I mean, we'll be absolutely shagged by that point. We'll
Yeah, you'll
probably
be
have no
limping to
players.
Christmas.
Literally limping into Christmas. We should be a wounded animal. And now I think if they got one at Ellen Road and they got rocking, we would crumble. I think, even though we're back-to-back wins, I still think we'd probably crumble. But yeah. I mean, go on Leeds. Christmas period started well. If they didn't get through it, it's going to put your West Ham boys in a lot of trouble, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. I needed Liverpool to win this one, so thanks, mate.
Cool. Okay, where do you want to go next, game-wise? Newcastle, Burnley, 2-1.
Yeah, our last win for the other 14 out of the fixtures. There wasn't too many this week. Yeah, Newcastle 2-1 Burnley. We got an Olympico again.
Mate, another Olympico, and I was watching this one quite a few times, and I was like, I don't even know how Dubravka would save this. Shouldn't Carl Walker be doing a bit better on the back post with it, or is that me being harsh on Carl Walker? It almost seems like I've got a vendetta against him, and I don't really. I just
You do kind of, but I don't know. I mean, it's definitely not the goalkeeper's responsibility to save an Olympico because it's usually like ballooned over them. And you would hope that the person on the back post will be able to get their head on it, but it's such an awkward angle as well that they're not really like preparing themselves for that. They're kind of preparing themselves for it to get someone to get a head on it and then it to go to their space, which is a completely different angle. But 20th goal scored straight from a corner in Premier League history, second this season after James Tavernier for Bournemouth. Like they've happened a couple of times over the last couple of seasons, and they're just really really difficult to defend and they just don't happen very often. It's always a mixture of the elements, the whip on the ball, like that you just can't prepare for them really.
nah, you can't. But completely well taken. And I mean, Bruno is the talisman for Newcastle. And I think once that goal goes in, this game's pretty much over. I don't think Burnley really gave much to Newcastle. And then Elanga speeds through and gets Perez sent off. Any questions with the red card?
No, not at all. No, no complaints. Takes Elanga down in front of goal. Lucas Perez, off you go. Burnley had started bright when it was 0-0, but as Burnley do, once they go behind, they don't look like coming back into it really. And yeah, Anthony Gordon scores in back-to-back games, but both of them being penalties. So I'm still right. You're still a fraud. And Johan Visser comes on to make his debut.
Mate, what have you got against Diana? Yeah. What have
You know I don't
so
like
much
him.
against Diana? I knew you'd fucking try and get past that quickly. I know. But that Ugatrigwu pen, what the fuck is going on with the handballs in this game? Like that one, he looks like he's just trying to catch it.
Yeah, he's legit trying to catch it.
Like, is that just a brain fart or something? Because he's there like
No,
both hands up.
I think he's trying to brace contact from Voltemada. Like I think he thinks he's going to absolutely crash into Voltemada, and he's just put his hands up to like kind of like stop himself from just clattering headfirst into him. It's probably like, I mean, he was far enough away that he still shouldn't have done that. Like he didn't necessarily look like he was actually going to clatter into him. But that's what I think Ugochukwu's excuse will be, is that he's like tried to put his arms out, and he's like gone like, because you just can't put your hands up like that in the box. Like
No, you can't.
I don't think he's tried to handball it at all. But you put your arms up right in the like, they're nowhere near your body. If it hits your hands, it's a definite penalty. Like, you know me, I'm usually less. I don't like giving handballs for penalties these days, because I feel like we're just giving them for whenever it touches someone's arm and there's no intention on it anymore. It's just like, oh, it brushed your arm. Here's a free shot at goal. It feels like the penalty outweighs the practice, but you know, you can't be doing that in this day and age.
No, 100%. I mean, even a Ramsey handball for the Burnley pen, that was another dreadful handball. He just puts his arm up and like hits it. It's just
that one is a clear handball with intention, because he's clearly tried to block it with his arm there. Like that, there's no, like, I've done that like in football. Like you know what you've done. Like that is not, you do it. Maybe you do it subconsciously, but you know you've absolutely pulled your arm out. You're not dragging it into your body. It was by your body, and you pulled it out to stop the ball. So another clear penalty. But that one,
so
in any day and age, that's a clear penalty.
Yeah, just so unnecessary. And then Sion Fleming puts it away. But yeah, I guess Burnley did well not to crumble after the goal, but it's...
Well, they almost came back into it. That they had a cross at after they got that Fleming consolation penalty. They had a cross at the last minute of the game, and they had three different players who could have got a head on it, and none of them touched it. Like Fleming was one of them, and he just looked absolutely bewildered. Like he was like, "How did none of us get on that?" Like they could have absolutely stole a point here, because they were clear second best, but you know, obviously down to 10 men, so they might have, that would have been an incredible result for them. But yeah, it's tough for Burnley right now. They're not picking up any results.
I'd say 5 losses on the bounce. I mean, 5 points adrift. In the words of Bart Simpson, they're in deep trouble now, it seems, doesn't it? And you don't really see where the next result's going to come from. You don't really see what's going to help them bounce back at all, which is a little bit worrying for Burnley fans. They weren't in a worse position, say, well, 7 games ago. So yeah, I'd be wide if I was a Burnley fan. Like I said, after that Palace result, I was very wide for them, because we were there for the taking that day, and they just didn't really lay a glove on us after it all. Well, they laid a glove on, but nothing that seemed like circumstantial that they were actually gonna get a goal in that game.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Okay, should we speed through the losses then for our other 14 sides? I mean,
well, we have a draw first.
Oh, fuck off. Actually,
trying to skip West Ham.
It was so boring, this game. Like, I had it on in the background before I was going to decide whether I was going to go to the game or not, and I was like, fuck me, this is making me never want to watch football again.
To be fair, I was at a market for like emo goth culture sort of thing on Sunday, and I was listening to this on the radio. So, yeah, it was. I was
What did they
glad I
talk
wasn't
about
watching
on
it.
the radio? What did they talk about on the radio for it? Because nothing fucking happened apart from the goals. Like it was
It,
dire.
like that Simpsons meme where he passes to
Yeah,
him, and
yeah.
he passes to. That was essentially like listening to that. It was like this is but they were like, it's a slow burner, this one. It's like they were so clearly desperate for something to talk about. I think it got the game sort of kicked into life in the last sort of 15, 20 minutes. Like I think Brighton were the better team in the first half, by not by a long shot, but just edged it, sort of thing. There was a miss from Mats Vifa that they could have got them ahead.
Still a
I
half
think.
chance, really, that one. Like, yeah. I mean, he drags it wide, doesn't he? But yeah, nothing
Yeah.
major. I mean, Bowen for me puts the team on his back. Really good finish
Oh,
from a very
100%.
tight angle. Like, I'm not really
Yeah, I mean
sure
he
how
had a
he.
chance. He had a chance before that, and then Somerville did a scissor kick from a rebound. Like I think from the second half, like Nuno, maybe it's a Nuno away thing, like because we went back to a back five in this game, and it was like right at half time we've got in at 0-0. That's fine. Let's go out and start to put our stamp on the game a little bit, and then yeah, you're right. Bowen puts the team on his back. Like he has no chance shooting, like scoring that goal. He hasn't like he
No,
shouldn't be, that goal shouldn't be scored. Like from a defensive, from a Brighton perspective, that's a poor goal to concede because Kadioglu should have that tidied up every day. But Bowen breaks his goal scoring drought. He hasn't scored in a couple months in the Premier League, and it's like this is like a sliding effort. So in Jared Bowen we trust. 1-0.
nice. Then, what do you want to talk about with the perfectly legitimate goal Brighton score to get 1-1 in the game? Where do you want to start with the perfectly okay goal with no reason it should have been VAR'd or cancelled out?
Well, it's a high boot first on Mavropanos.
Yeah, I was thinking
And
this,
they
but
didn't.
Mavropanos.
They barely even looked at it,
I mean, yeah, but Mavropanos has nothing going on in his head, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
mate. Just
they
because he's got a meathead doesn't mean he can't feel pain. Like,
I
just
don't think
he can still feel. I'm sure he can still feel a boot to his head somewhere.
well,
Like,
clearly not,
I
mate,
know
because
it's.
you
I
would have
know
gone
it's
down.
huge. No, he's just a proper man. Like he's proper brick builder. Like that's a Greek god who is not going to go down at the slightest contact. But that is the problem. Is you shouldn't be. He has to go down so that he gets it. That's how we end up
You're
in
not
this
the one that
situation
said.
of football where we've got loads of pansies playing. Like he needs to he's a proper geezer. Like
You're not the one that said he has monkey playing cymbals in his head. So that monkey just
yeah.
like got a bit of a fud. It was like, oh,
Yeah,
nah, I
I
can't
don't
be
want the
anything.
Brighton player to kick that monkey like in his head. Like he still needs it. He's playing for us. Like we need
Yeah,
all the brain cells he has left. Like and then they don't give that. Rutter handballs it, and he because he took the shot and then it was saved, and then there was another. It was the second shot that went in. That's fine now these days because of course because it's West Ham. Like if this was Arsenal that it went against or Liverpool, then no, that absolutely would have been called back for a handball. They would have looked back, they would have called it, they would have minus, like they would have given West Ham another goal because it was two incidences, and because it's West Ham they just went no, that's fine. It
shambolic,
was
ain't it? Like, I'm meant to be
just
the one biased
awful.
against
Like
Brighton now. Like, I don't know how
yeah,
they've counted. How VAR's looked at it and still let that go is absolutely criminal. And yeah, it takes you away from getting a massive a massive 2 more points and getting you into a very strong position to, yeah, languish still in the relegation zone. Which,
yeah, but then Mavropanos, monkey brain cells, he has a chance to score at the other end, and it's just like we have this issue, right? Where you don't have it because Guehi seems to score like every couple of months, but none of our centre backs ever fucking score. Like I honestly, I was trying to look into it, and I'm pretty sure the last time we had a centre back score, it was probably like Kurt Zuma or Craig Dawson from like 3-4 years ago.
Alan Dawson with a diving header.
Ballon Dawson. Like since then, we've got a curse, and none of our centre backs can score. So
But
it
you
was
sent,
when I heard on the radio that it was Mavropanos, I was like, he's not scored. Like I was like, I know it's going wide. Like
Your centre backs that can't defend and can't score. They're fucking useless team.
So it's a good thing we didn't spend 100 million on them, isn't it?
That still blows my mind. Well, you got Villa coming up, City away. There is a worry of you getting cut adrift again, isn't there? Like,
Nah, we're going to batter Villa. Don't worry about it. Let's move on to the defeats.
okay, yeah, I think we're pretty much going to race through these because there's not. If I'm being really honest, there wasn't much to take from these defeats for the other 14 sides. The City Sunderland one. I mean, this is not a game that Sunderland are going to get their season judged on. Pretty much turned into just the City show, and I think City could have had more than 3 goals quite easily in this game. They go down 1-0 quite early, Sunderland, and then they're never really back in it. I mean, what will you take if you're a Sunderland fan from this?
I mean, not a lot. Like, there's not the first one. I don't think there's a lot you can do about that. It's an exceptional goal from Diaz, except maybe you should close him down better. The second one, Lafay just gets absolutely tossed aside by Gvardiol when he's got a free header on goal. I think at 2-0 down, Sunderland came into this a little bit, but probably with we've got nothing to lose now kind of mentality. Isidore has a shot that's right at Donnarumma after he nicked it off Diaz. He should absolutely score there, and we should be playing the Lord of the Rings sound that we have. But I know, right? I know. And then Xhaka drills a shot that hits a post. I think it was after a corner, and then it gets like scrambled away.
That was a nice post hitting, wasn't it? Because it absolutely clattered the
bastard. Yeah, it was absolute like thwack off the post. But yeah, kind of half chances really. Then there was absolute massive blocks from Ballard and Geertruida to sort of keep this from being more than it was. And the last thing, I mean, I don't really have any complaints about O'Neill's red card late on. I think that's a reckless challenge. The last thing I'll say on this match is Dimitri Payet's Rabona was better than Cherki's.
Mate, that's literally what I've heard. I've got like Cherki assist for Foden, Payet-esque. Like, it really was, wasn't it? Like, we don't want to take too much time talking about a Big 16, but yeah, that assist that's pretty fucking pretty. Cannot lie about that. But yeah,
I think Sunderland just dust yourselves off. This is not the kind of game that you were sort of expected to get anything from this. They've got the Tyne-Wear derby next, so they like shake this one off and they'll be absolutely well up for that. No.
Yeah,
you're right.
They're definitely going to win that game. They're definitely winning the Tyne-Wear derby. I can see it written here, Newcastle fans imploding. 100%. That was one of my rogue predictions from the beginning of the season, and it's definitely going to happen. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans, but it just is. Cool. Okay, moving on to Wolves United. Once again, really, Wolves got their goal that they've been waiting for quite a while now, but what else do you take from that game?
42 days, was it, or something?
Say again?
I think it was like 43 days or something that they hadn't scored in the Premier League, and which is just crazy.
Yeah, but what can you say? Opening goal was dreadful defending from Wolves. They even get the chance when I think it's Bruno Fernandes slips to be able to defend the goal, and they still fuck it up. Goes through Sam Johnston. It was just weak all round. And then they get the goal back, but still they fall apart in the second half. There's no momentum. There's nothing really happening for them. I mean, Rob Edwards has to be planning for life in the Championship now, but what do you do to stop it being a humiliating end to the season? There's already fucking media outlets going on about the derby record, and
well, yeah, I was gonna say like this was a pretty abject performance apart from a spell before half time, but that we're starting to see now, and people are starting to ask, is this the worst Premier League team ever? And they have less points than Derby did at that stage of this of the season. So but Derby had won a game by this point in the season. Wolves haven't managed that. It's looking really, really bleak because even in this one, they were lucky. Agbadou lucky not to give away a penalty. We talked about the Ramsey one earlier. That was very similar to Agbadou's. Mascara ends up giving one away later in the game. They both should have been handballs.
Same thing, isn't it? The penalties, exact same. Put arm out. Yes, it's hit at what, shirt length or elbow length, or whatever the fuck they call it.
It's like the sleeve, end of the sleeve, isn't it? So
yeah. Like, why have not given both? You can't really understand, but I mean, is that the luck?
I mean, it didn't matter in the end of the day, did it? But yeah, we're gonna be talking about this. It's gonna be like last season with Southampton for ages. We're gonna be tracking the derby comparison for a while, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you feel for Wolves because they did stick in games, and I always thought they would come good eventually, but switching out manager hasn't helped the situation at all. Maybe, what do you think? Looking at what were 4 or 5 games down? No, it's even that many. 3 games down now since Rob Edwards come in. It's made no difference really, has it? Would you not rather just kept Pereira and the money in the 5-year contract, or do you think it was too far gone?
I mean, it's difficult to say. Like that, it was getting toxic towards the end with the having a go at fans and stuff, and they needed to do something. I think they would have had a lot of like fans, and that would have been rather annoyed that they weren't if they didn't do anything. But I think the fans know that the issue with Wolves at the moment, they could cycle through 20 managers throughout the rest of the season. The rot is at the top with Fosun, the owners, and unfortunately, it sounds like Fosun aren't going anywhere. They keep coming out and saying like we're not interested in selling, even though they want to get like a minor investor involved. And your boy John Textor is apparently interested in that, but they're not going to be selling a major stake. So Wolves fans, all I would say is just keep the protest, keep the fight going. Like they purposefully missed the first 15 minutes of this game, I think it was, as a protest to the owners. I mean, they just need to keep that pressure up throughout the season, and hopefully those owners will leave. But yeah, that's all I got to say on it.
Yeah, feel for Wolves fans, but fingers crossed it can get better. And New Year, you just don't see what the result's going to come, though, do you? Cool. Moving on to the next loss last loss for the other 14 sides. Spurs 2, Brentford 0. I mean, 2 early goals kind of finished this game off quite quickly. I think Spurs just did what I think a lot of teams are going to figure out about Brentford quite quickly. If you basically close off Thiago, you're gonna win this game because Brentford don't really have Brentford can't really play that game if he's not getting the ball, holding it up, and bringing the players in around him, are they?
Yeah, well, I mean, they went up against someone who knows their squad pretty well with Thomas Frank. They couldn't get one over on him, so and Tottenham didn't defend with a crazy high line as we've seen in the past. In this one, they didn't allow players like Utara, Schade, Thiago that space in behind. So they and yeah, they Brentford were a distant second best in this match. It was interesting that they got their home and away performances are just completely polar opposite. This is their seventh away defeat in 8 matches this season, and of course their one away win this season was against my boys West Ham. But like they're seemingly not turning up on the road at all. Like they're not even drawing these games. They're losing frequently away from home, but they've made the G-Tech a fortress, so they're not looking over their shoulder right now, but they'll want to change that away record sooner rather than later.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if they didn't have that home record, they would be probably in a bit of trouble. And it's mad, isn't it, how you can be that good at home and be this shocking away from home. I generally think because their game plan when they go away is so based around Thiago. When they came to Palace, we closed them down. Like, just put your biggest defenders on him and outmuscle him in the game, and they've just got nothing. And they just seemingly had nothing in this game. I want to pull out some positives, but really, it could have been 3-0 to Spurs. Spence has a chance to make it 3 after a mistake from Collins. And yeah, you just really can't forgive Brentford for this bad away form, can you? Maybe I'm being a bit too
No.
harsh, but it's just how it be.
Yeah, and then lastly, Bournemouth nil, Chelsea nil. Before you cut me off, Bournemouth Evanilson offside rules out a Semenyo goal again. Evanilson
Again.
needs to cut that out, man. Bournemouth were the better team. I think they should have won this, but I think 0-0 is still a good result for them, even though it leaves them at the bottom of that big pile of teams who, in the race for Europe, it takes them down to 13th. But I think
Yeah. I mean, it
still a decent
stops the rot
result.
for them, doesn't it? Like 2 losses on the bounce. They've like completely dropped out of form after being so good at the beginning of the season. But I think it's one where they'll probably bounce back and be okay, if I'm being honest. Like, I think they'll probably have a big result next weekend and yeah, get back to winning ways. Who do they have? United away. Oh, they do like that fixture. I was there last year for their 3-0 win, so hopefully they get something there and put United fans in a bit of misery because it's always nice to see that. Cool. Okay, should we move on to our predictions then, as we don't have peak Barclays through the Christmas period?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Okay, starting with Saturday. Yeah, there's no early kickoff on Saturday, which is a bit weird, but fair enough. I'm not going to complain about less football for once.
Well, they got
Cool.
Monday night. They need to not do Monday nights and just do Saturday early kickoff, please. Like I'm not a fan of all the Monday nights.
No, me neither, mate. I'm not. This is the first time I've given up some tickets to Palace because there's just too many games, man. There's too many games. Like having to do Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. It's just it's killing me. I can hear it killing me slowly. But anyway, cool. Chelsea, Everton, and Stamford Bridge. I think 1-1. I've got a feeling for that one.
Ooh, yeah, I think Chelsea are probably gonna win this 1-0. I think it'll be close.
Nice. Liverpool, Brighton. I mean, I've got a joke between my best mates that Liverpool and Brighton fans are just the same people, so I'm sure they'll be happy
Really,
with
that's an
any
interest.
result.
I think that take needs a lot more explaining next time. But this one, I think there'll be goals. I don't think either of these teams are top form defensively. This has got my weekly Desmond on it 2-2.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna go 3-2 Brighton. I can just see it, and then they go above us, which will be very depressing. Cool. Burnley, Fulham at Turf Moor, a 5:30 kickoff. I feel like this is one Fulham have to win. They have to bounce back from the result against us because they were in the game, but it was a bit of a bad result for them. I'm going to go 2-0 Fulham.
Oof, and pile on the misery on Burnley. I really want to back Burnley, like in this one at home, 5:30 kickoff against a team who have inconsistencies, I would say. Like, I can't do it. Fuck it. Why not? Burnley 1-0.
Nice. Then a late kickoff, Arsenal Wolves. I don't think it's going to be the score, but I'm just going to manifest it. 1-0 Wolves.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for 7-0 Arsenal.
Fucking hell. It's a bit brutal. But
Sorry,
okay.
Wolves fans.
Fucking hell. 7-0 prediction. It's outrageous. But yeah, I mean, if you're a Wolves fan, you're probably dreading that and probably not going to be tuning into it either, are you? Cool.
No, at eight
Sunday.
o'clock. Like, I don't think there'll be many Wolves fans making that journey down to London on Saturday night.
Nah, there won't be. Cool. Then Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoffs. City Palace. I think Palace City. Selhurst. I think we're probably going to lose this 2-0. Can just see Haaland brace after our day out in Dublin. I think the players always struggle after a European game. So yeah, I think City win that. Hopefully they do pile on pressure on Arsenal because I fucking hate Arsenal fans.
Did you just really say that you hope that City win a game against you? Bad, you're a terrible fan.
Yeah, I'm looking for the silver
But yeah,
linings.
I think this one. I think City will win 3-1.
Yeah, yeah, not good times. Forest, Spurs. Could this be a Dyche masterclass? Maybe a 1-0. 1-0. Actually, no, I'm going to go 0-0. I reckon Dyche is going to get a proper classic filthy 0-0 in here.
Oh, that's a good shout. To be fair, uh, I'll back Forest. So I'll give them a home win, 1-0.
Nice. Sunderland, Newcastle. This is probably the game I'm going to be watching at the weekend because I've given up my Palace City tickets to my mate because I just think I'm going to be too ill but come Sunday. So I can hopefully just sit there and watch this in bed. I'm going 2-0 Sunderland and there'd be absolute scenes at the Stadium of Light.
Because this is at the Stadium of Light, I'm going to back you. I don't think they're going to do the double like you do, but I think that this will go with the home team each time. But I'm going to go 3-2 Sunderland.
I think it's going to be a good game. I'm hoping it's a good game. I've just got all those visions in my head of like the Defoe winners, Canio like going down the sideline, doing the knee slide. I hope it's like that type of game because it's one of the most peak Barclays fixtures I can think of, isn't it?
We've missed this game. I'm sure everyone involved in this who isn't of a nervous disposition has missed this game. I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be sensational. It's kind of annoying. It's on a Sunday at 2 o'clock, but still, I'm sure they'll be up for it.
100%. Then we got your boys, West Ham, Villa. I mean, I could probably see you guys getting that
I'm gonna back another 7-0.
back at 7. Oh no, I think at home maybe you get something. I'm gonna go 1-1.
Oh, I meant to us.
Oh, fucking idiot. Okay.
No,
Then,
yeah, I reckon we could get our third draw on the bounce, 1-1.
yeah, I can see a draw there. Cool. Then Brentford Leeds, the late kickoff. Bit of an odd one for the late kickoff at the G-Tech. I mean, they always do well. Well, it's kind of fault that they always do well with late kickoff at the G-Tech. And I can't see Leeds really doing anything away from home against them, unfortunately. I'm going to go for a 2-1 to Brentford, I think.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I'm going to join you 2-1 to Brentford at home.
Cool. Then Monday night, United, Bournemouth. Hard one. I think Bournemouth are going to find their groove again and probably win this 2-0.
I might double up and go for another Desmond, Double Desmond this week, 2-2.
Double Desmond, Jesus. You got to fucking calm yourself down, mate. Too much excitement right there.
This scoreline does not happen anywhere near enough for how much I predict it, but I just love it. So I will continue to predict at least one every week.
Love it. Cool. Okay, that gets us to the end of our bit of a somber week, really, for the other 14 sides. I think there's a lot of teams probably feeling the burden of free game week with the game in the middle of the week for them. So yeah, I mean, hopefully they come back with a bit more of a bounce and we get some more exciting games and Christmas fixtures. But yeah, otherwise feel free to rate and review the podcast, tell your friends, follow us on social, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky and Reddit at Other14FC Podcast, and email in at Other14FC can't talk, Other14FC Podcast at gmail.com. But yeah, otherwise catch you guys next week.